Welcome. You're watching the India Development Debate. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. The news broke early this morning that the Hyderabad police has killed all 4 accused in the horrific Hyderabad rape and murder case that shocked the conscience of the nation. Since then, a debate has been raging. Mind you, there's no debate that the beasts who raped and then burnt a young veterinary doctor should be brought to justice. The debate is about how. The killing of the 4 men named by the police as the accused saw some people celebrating and others asking how extrajudicial killings, if they are extrajudicial killings, could be called justice. But at the root of this debate that you've probably heard around you today is the uncomfortable truth that many believe going through the legal system would mean a process of years and a delay in justice for the victim. So the real question really is, have we lost faith? Faith that our legal system is robust enough to ensure justice. Speaking to me on this now is former Supreme Court Judge Justice AK Sikri. Justice Sikri, thank you so much for joining us on the India Development Debate. I want to simply start by asking you how you view the events today.
Thank you. You see, first purely from a legal point of view, and in a situation like this, we are always confronted with 2 competing interests. On the one hand are the rights of the accused persons, on the other hand are the rights of the victims, and law recognizes both the rights. If you see, insofar as accused persons are concerned, and that is our law, howsoever grave the offence may be, everybody is entitled to a fair trial. We have Article 21 in the Constitution of India, which is one of the fundamental rights that is taken at the level of human rights, is that nobody can be deprived of his life and liberty except by the process of law. So process of law means that if somebody is accused of committing a particular crime, then that person has to be brought to the court. There has to be a charge against that person, and that person has to be tried in accordance with law. Evidence has to be produced before the court that this person had committed a crime, and only if he is proved guilty ultimately after the trial, and the standard of proof is also guilt in the criminal cases, that the guilt is proved beyond reasonable doubt, that only then he can be deprived of his liberty, he can be sent to jail, or even life if it is a death sentence is awarded in case of certain offences. So that is a right of a fair trial which is given to any accused person. Take for example, the extreme example which comes to my mind is Kasab's case, who was a Pakistani national, comes to India. It was perceived as the attack at which was perpetrated at that time, that it's an attack on the sovereignty of India. But even that person was given full trial up to the stage of Supreme Court. Supreme Court even because he was not having any lawyer to defend, so gave in the form of legal aid a lawyer of eminence who argued the case on his behalf. So it's only after the trial a person is convicted and then he can be executed or he can be sentenced. That is a right of the accused persons. On the other hand, we have the rights of victims as well. We know that it's not that the and it is the realization which has come in last few years that criminal law should not be tilted totally in favor of the accused persons, that they are able to find the loopholes etc. in the system, and at the end of the day, even when they have committed the crime, they go scot-free. There are because if that happens and there are more acquittals, even in respect of those crimes where it is found that the person or the perception is the person may have committed the crime, but for want of witnesses who do not come to the court or delayed trial etc., sometime it does not result in fair trial insofar as victims are concerned. So, it is not in the interest of the society as well, and at the same time victims also need to have justice as early as possible. So, society is, as I said, is in the, interested in the outcome of such cases, particularly the cases which, and nowadays we are finding as the crime against women is on rise, and particularly the cases where cases of sexual abuse or cases of crime against women or children etc. So, in such cases, yes, on the other hand, as I said, it is in the interest of the public, it is the interest of the victim that or it is in the interest of the society that the cases are taken to their logical conclusion as soon as possible, and the person should be convicted if they have committed the crime. Now, so therefore, the question is of the balancing of the two interests. In the process, what happens is, yes, as we know, as you also said, that delays do take place, but can we have the situation where public takes the law into their own hands? We have seen in recent past some cases of lynching of those who were found to be in few cases, yes, a person was found, that is the perception of the some public, that a thief was caught and was thrashed badly, or some person who was say it was an incident of, if I remember, chain snatching etc., and the person was caught by the public and was thrashed, and in one or two cases when they found that a person was going to commit rape of a small child, small girl, and was caught, then I mean he was almost lynched by the mob. So, that is, but that can be, whether it can be allowed, the answer obviously is no. In this same process, we come to as far as police is concerned.
Yes, sir. That's the point I was coming to. You're talking about mob mentality and the public getting angry. In this case, it's the law enforcers.
I was saying that we have to see. Exactly. Now, I was coming to that only. So, in the same process, when it comes to police, then today can police say that, look, since there is a hue and cry, of course, as far as this particular case is concerned, about you are talking about, for last 4-5 days, the manner in which this crime was committed was gruesome, no doubt about it. There was hue and cry in the society. There were lot of debate in the parliament, and this demand was that there should be all these cases, the penalty should be, minimum penalty should be death penalty, and I remember one of the MPs went on to say that it should be public hanging also, so that everybody comes to know. So, this shows that how much I mean, as far as public outcry is concerned, which may be justified, but then in the whole process, law enforcers, in order to mitigate such circumstances, or in order to see that this public outcry subsides, whether they can take the law into their hands, like I gave the example of lynching, and here they are the law enforcers. Now, what we find today is that, yes, they had arrested these persons who were the so-called, I would say, because they have not been, I mean, and that chance would never come because they have been shot dead in the so-called encounter. So, they had arrested these persons and they were taking them to the site where the crime was committed. So, the question is now here, to what extent it can be done. But now was after when I say so, another again I would say interesting issue arises. What are public encounters or police encounters, sorry, I should say. What is this police encounter? To what extent it is justified, and what are the various means and ways to ensure that there are no fake encounters.
Right.
When we come to the term police encounters,
Yes.
where in the encounter criminals are killed, let me tell you, first of all, there is no specific provision
Yes.
in this behalf in
Justice
any law.
Sikri, if I may,
At the same
if I may,
time,
please allow me,
yes,
sir. Yes.
when the police,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes,
If I may intervene, I want to come straight to the point. What you are explaining very rightly so is the legal process and provision, the
Yes.
law of this land which should be followed. But if I may take this down to the very lowest
Yes.
common denominator and how people are feeling today, the conversation which is going on today, it comes down to the basic question that if these
Yes.
were, and we 100% know that these were the actual perpetrators of the crime, like you said, it hasn't been proven in a court of law, but if they were, and if they were to go through the legal judicial system, it could take years. We're seeing that in the Nirbhaya case. Today, those parents are coming out and saying that at least this victim's parents have had, have had justice. We are still waiting.
They are yet to be executed. Still, although
yes.
these,
Yes. So my
yes.
very simple point to
Yes.
you, sir, is doesn't this show, and that's the alarming part, a loss of faith. A loss of faith that the judicial system, the legal system of this land will protect you, which has turned a whole host of people into a horde baying for blood.
You are right to some extent. They actually, what happens, yes, I would not deny the fact that our judicial system works in a slow motion. It takes sometimes years. Of course, Nirbhaya case also, when there was such a hue and cry and public outcry that at least the trial could be hastened, it could be fast tracked. In spite of that, these many years have passed. But what to talk about those cases which don't come to limelight, and in the ordinary course it may take years at the trial stage itself to finish those cases or to decide those cases ultimately. But question is not, I mean, what ultimately boils down to is that the public when it shows it, and today also because of this episode, many are saying if they were really the real culprits, yes, this quick justice is done. But are we a country which is constitutionally governed, a country doing Talibani justice? That is where the issue is. There are two ways of looking at it. One is that yes, we have found the persons are real culprits, and we have seen many Bollywood movies on that. Somebody comes, hero comes and says that why should be person, I will do that justice, and he keeps on eliminating those who are the real offenders and the criminals in the society. And we may at that time sitting in the film halls and we may clap and we may cheer what has been happening. But at the end of the day, when we are here, and that is the real reality, I would say, we are a country governed by rule of law. In a rule of law, it is the courts which have to decide ultimately whether a person is guilty or not. The police cannot decide itself. Now see the other side of it. Yes, let us presume in this case the persons who have been liquidated. I am not on that whether police encounter was fake or not. It may be a genuine police encounter, with that inquiry would go on. A recent judge, so we would come to know whether it was there or not. But I am on that presuming that these were the real criminals who had committed this crime. And if we start giving, that means tomorrow police becomes the final say authority to decide, yes, I feel that this person has committed the crime and it's a gruesome crime which is committed, and therefore the police has right to indulge in this encounter. See the flip side of it. Tomorrow if we give this kind of license to the police, then we know the way there are many cases where innocent people are also targeted. So tomorrow we are giving license to the police to do whatever they want. Are we then heading towards that kind of society? And that is why I said, is it that Talibani justice should be done? That the person,
Justice
yes,
Sikri, in that-
Taliban feels that this person has done something wrong and liquidate.
Yeah. So Justice Sikri, but,
Yes.
the sad true fact
So therefore,
is,
what I feel is ultimately
Yeah.
the outcry of
yeah,
Yes.
I was coming to a point of now, so where do we go from here? Because the true sad fact is today that the justice system in India
Yeah.
is very, very, very slow. It takes years, sometimes decades for matters to be resolved.
yes,
Rape convictions are pathetically
that's
low.
correct.
Why should people then keep the faith beyond a
Yes.
point? How can we expect them to?
Now, it's a very valid question you have raised, but the issue is as to whether, if the system is slow, whether we should improve the system or there has to be a parallel system like this. If you want to choose between the two, I think first the alternative which I have suggested is the only alternative. System needs improvement, there is no doubt about it. Incidents like this, where people have started losing faith in the system, this is an eye opener or this is an alarm to those who are managing the judicial system, whether in the government or in the judiciary, that look, it's like giving them a jolt, that look, if this is what is happening and the people don't have faith in the system because it is slow system, and therefore you have to do something. No doubt for last many years, as far as judicial reforms in the criminal justice system are concerned, particularly that the justice, all these trials should be hastened. There should be quick trials and fast track as far as particularly these crimes against women are concerned. But you are right, again I would say that not much concrete results have been given because of those reforms. So this is one signal, one message which is gone to the judicial authorities and all those who are law enforcers, that we have to do something, and we have to do something drastically. If you remember when Nirbhaya murder also took place and there was a public hue and cry, within a few days the government of the day had set up J.S. Verma committee and had told them to give a report what amendments in the law are needed within 1 month, and that report was given and many amendments were made. But that is amendment in law. When it comes to enforcing the law, what I feel is that some of the things which need to be, or steps which need to be taken at emergent basis, and Chief Justice of India, Chief Justices of the High Courts and the Law Ministry, etc., and Justice Ministry all should come together and do what are the methods by which we have speedy trials, particularly in such cases, the crime against women, crime against children, crime against elderly persons, etc. That is one thing for which setting up of fast track courts, that the earlier I would say the as far as fast track courts are concerned, it was established earlier, but that maybe failed, that attempt. But then how it can be revived, how it can be stabilized, how it can be strengthened is the question now. And at the same time, we have to also ensure how to give protection to the witnesses, how to give protection to the victims of the crime. Like if you remember Unnao case which happened yesterday, a girl was going, she was raped, it was a rape case, she was going to the court to give evidence, and on the way she is caught and she is burnt, and she walks 1 mile just to take the umbrage, and then ultimately now she is in the hospital fighting for her life. So there is no proper witness protection program in this country. I remember in one of the judgments last year, I had said so, and that too witness protection program, which was at our instance prepared by the ministry, which we ultimately approved, but it seems that it remains on paper only. So, because what happens, and unless there are the witnesses who come to the court, there should not be unnecessary adjournments. They should not be asked to go back and come again and again. The witnesses should be examined immediately on the date when they are fixed. After all, the witnesses, one may be a victim who is the witness in a case, rape case, and there may be eyewitnesses, there may be other witnesses. We can't harass these witnesses. After all, the witnesses are called eyes and ears of justice, eyes and ears of the judicial system. So, we have to give them the due respect, and all these measures, if unless they are not taken and cumulatively in one go, we have to attack on all fronts. As I again repeat, if we see the flip side, and if the society is feeling today totally sad about it, and the society is almost now is losing faith in the judiciary, that judicial system is taking so much of time.
Yeah.
It is an alarm bell to the judiciary, and therefore judiciary has to come forward and take immediate steps to restore the faith in the public. Because
Absolutely.
we at the end of the day, we can't give such powers either to the public that they indulge in lynching, or even to the police that they indulge in such kind of encounters.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Justice Sikri.
So this is what I would say. Anything?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Justice Sikri, for joining us today and elaborating with such clarity what the true picture is. I hope people listen to the message that you've given today.